From Unique Toys, I have Dumb and I have Dumber. Yes, you might have thought it was just a joke on the thumbnail, but that's what these guys are actually called. Obviously, they're Mudflap and Skids from the Revenge of the Fallen movie. And I have to say, not my favorite characters, but these guys are amazing. As far as engineering, articulation, I've been playing a little bit. Now, these two doofuses were supplied to me at no cost by the Tommy Park store and the Jerry store on AliExpress, or you can get them, and I'll put links below for the purposes of this review. But as always, it's going to be a 100% honest review. I'm going to go through them bit by bit, see the good, bad, and the ugly. But while their faces not exactly pleasing to the eye, I don't think you're going to find too much ugly about these guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. And if you've been watching for a while, thanks so much. That is awesome. Appreciate you coming back. All right, let's get into these. Be right back. So yes, this is UT-R08 from Unique Toys, Dumb, and this is UT-R07 Dumber. I don't know why Dumber was before Dumb in the number line, but you know, whatever. But let's first go through, I'm going to go through the posability on both of these guys. So we'll start with Dumb, and from there we'll break into the vehicle modes, which I think you're going to really like. Now, the proportions, he's got much longer arms, Dumb does, as does Dumber, than most Transformers. So while they're usually not in proportion with shorter arms, these guys, I think their arms are a little too long. Now, each of them come with an identical weapon, this gun here, which pokes into using a little slot, just like a lot of the Masterpiece bots, because this is kind of a Masterpiece style version of this character. Now, I have to say, again, these characters were not my favorite in Revenge of the Fallen. They did have their comedic moments, and who knows, they might be your favorites. But regardless, they did an incredible job putting these guys together. So let's start with just some deco. Obviously, he's green, just like the Skids on the original show. The hands, just like on the original movie, this one's bigger than that one. I don't know why they went with that particular choice. His face, pretty darn ugly. You can flip back his ears, but they are supposed to be out like that to show the full weirdness that is Skids, aka Dumb. It came unfastened, but I got him back in shape. So let's start with the feet. There are some generous ankle tilts, very generous. You can go even further out than that, but he can definitely strike a very dynamic pose. Looks like he's doing Shakespeare or wanting to be in a rock band. One of those two, with his arms like that. Now, I have to say the joints are a little stiff because he's a brand new bot, but let's see if we can get this one into a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, he's got these kind of hip covers, which are on hinges, so I gotta kind of move him up a little bit. But while this one, I think he might come close to doing a split. Can we do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme? It's close, but no cigar. I think these hip covers don't move up quite enough to allow it on this spot. Still, he can kick forward, not a huge amount. He's got stubby little legs. He can kick back, not as high because things get in the way. He can do a side kick, and if you use both legs, he can really put his foot up there. Now, he also has a knee, goes about 90 degrees, and he does swivel. So he's got a swivel right below the hip, but you got to be careful because this part of his armor or whatever can rub against, so you got to be careful there. But that is pretty good, pretty good. Twisting at the waist, he can all the way around, so that's kind of nice. Getting to his arms, they do go all the way around. Bend at the elbow, he's got a swivel up near the shoulder. And you've probably already noticed this. Well, first of all, the hands can twist all the way around, though you got to kind of be careful of his armor there, but you can manage to get it pretty much all the way around. Individually articulated fingers, the thumb is big and it bends, the fingers bend. It is quite articulated in that hand. The other hand, which is smaller, the fingers do not articulate separately. On the other hand, those three are together, and the thumb, which is smaller, is articulated. It does have a little joint in it that you could potentially bend out, bend in. He's got a ball joint in there, so you can pretty much move the thumb around all kinds of ways. Though he can't give a thumbs up. This one he can. Really big thumbs up in that hand, but not in the other hand. I'm gonna give it a nice spin on the turntable of doom, and then let's see if its head will spin. Which, it's a little stiff, but it does spin all the way around. And as I noted earlier, he's got joints on the side of his head. You can move his ears back. I don't remember, because I'm probably not going to ever watch that movie again, if they were supposed to be forward or back. I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, the joints definitely feel stiff. So he's got a bit of a ratcheting sound when you move his elbow joints and his knee joints. A little bit of a ratchet. But overall, some nice posability. And as I mentioned, you can put his gun in his hand. It's got a post on the side, a kind of flat post that goes into the slot into his hand. And there he is, a wise guy, huh? He's gonna shoot you. Come on, you Decepticreeps. I'm trying to make him sound either like Rumble or Rat Trap. Hey, I'm Skids here. We're not gonna die. So one last spin and we'll move on to Dumber. Nice. Now they are twins, but I think the twinniness is more in the face. The bodies are a little bit different. Not totally dissimilar, but I'll give him a spin on the turntable of doom. So Dumber here, or Mudflap if you prefer, is a pretty articulated bot himself. He's got the similar hip covers, but we should be able to get him into a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. I have to maneuver the arm a little bit to get that to stay. And like maxi pads, he's got wings. I don't believe he can fly. I don't think he can touch the sky. I think about it every night. Never mind. Now he also has some generous ankle tilts. So again, he can be in a nice wide stance and very stable in that stance. He can kick forward. I should probably straighten out his foot. Kick forward, kicking back around the same amount. And he can do a really good side kick. And if you use both legs, he can really get it up there. Of course, he does still have the short, stubby legs. Much longer arms. Now he does have a knee, very similar to the other one, about 90 degrees. He also has the same swivel, and you need to, if you want to swivel all the way around, you need to move the leg out a little bit because of the front armor deco there, whatever that is. All the way around at the waist. Now his arms can go all the way around. He's got this little flap here that you need to make sure is tucked under, or else you can't go all the way around. It'll run into that. But he can go all the way around. He bends at the elbow very nicely. He can go off to the side. I'm going to take the gun out because it just wants to come out. He's got swivel right above the elbow, as opposed to the other one, which had it right here. That does not seem to move. You can turn his hands around all the way. He's got articulated thumb, and the three fingers are together. Now his other hand is like the other one's other hand, where all the fingers are articulated, and he's got the really big thumb that's a little bit bigger of a hand. Again, why this particular design choice? I mean, the character's kind of odd to begin with, but why Michael Bay decided he wanted them asymmetrical, which is really not a robot thing. That is beyond me. The head, of course, can turn all the way around, and just like his brother, you can move back the ears if you prefer. And he's got wings. He's got the doors that come out and act as wings. Now I'm gonna do another spin on the turntable, but I'm gonna stop here just to point out, maybe hard to see because it's all dark, but there's a lot of detailing on the interior doors that make them look like interior doors, which is kind of neat. And we'll put his gun aside because we've already shown that it goes in there, but you can put it in either hand. He does have a slot for that in the big and the small hand. And yeah, overall, a very articulated figure. All right, time to put them in vehicle mode, which I'm not gonna show because it's kind of complicated and I'm gonna probably fumble. So ready, set, go. All right, now there is Dumb, AKA Skids. Oop, gotta fix something real quick. I have to say, very cool looking vehicle. Very much a pain in the ass to transform, but you know, that's just me. This is definitely on the level of a masterpiece as far as the complexity, but very cool looking green car with the black streaks on the side, the black hood, tinted windows. But while these are kind of like masterpiece, they also have a bit of the DNA of alternators, because the doors don't come open that easily. Actually, you can pop them off accidentally, but they pop right back on. But what's really interesting is in the interior, they have seats, so people could actually sit in there. Well, very small people. And a steering wheel, whole dashboard. Now, this one does not have the interior of the door like the other one that's super detailed, but still, interior-wise, I mean, that is something you don't often see with Transformers. Usually there's a head in there, there's all kinds of stuff, but this actually has seats, so it's a really nice rendition of the vehicle. Now it is very exacting to transform, but roll test. Not bad. I'm just amazed that I was able to get it into such a state that I could roll. But there is Dumb. Let's check out Dumber. So a slightly different kind of car, a Scion, I think. I'm not even sure. Nice headlights, tinted windows, and these doors seem to open up a little more easily, though they do plug into the top, so it's kind of helpful to start it over there. Now the door plugs into the seat, so the interior of the door actually kind of came out, but once it's put back in again, it's got like the armrest, the handle, all that, and like the other one, it actually has seats inside and a steering wheel and a whole dash. Now the way I transformed it, unfortunately there's a finger sticking in between the seats, but you know, that's just because me and trying to rush it and you know, and the complexity of this thing. It's not an easy transformation, but if you're into the more complex things like masterpieces, alternators, things of that nature, this is going to be right up your alley. Me, I tend to transform them once when they're that complex, then just put them on a shelf. But again, amazing detail. I want to make sure that the door is properly closed. I don't want anyone falling out during the roll test. And again, very smooth rolling. We could do a race. On your mark, get set. Pretty close, but I think Mudflap, aka Dumber, has it. So really, really detailed vehicles, really, really posable robot modes, and just to show you at all the angles, a lot of great detail on these two bots. Little over 5 inches in vehicle mode. Yeah, I didn't measure them in robot mode, but they're a little taller. Not much though. The only thing I have in range for scaling is a reactivate Bumblebee, and you can see he's a little smaller, or a broken tailgate, so you can really see they're definitely bigger than mini-bots. But a lot of great detail. These are so cool. I'm almost tempted to be like, give them to friends who really just like cars and not just Transformers, because these are really, really detailed cars with the chrome wheels, the brake lights. I don't see turn signals. Might be incorporated in there somewhere. Front signals, headlights, just very cool looking renditions of the vehicles. And again, if you like the alternators, if you like Masterpiece, if you like anything like that, these might be exactly up your alley. Now, you can get these through the links in my description. One is to AliExpress, and you can get it on there if that makes you comfortable. If you go through the Tommy Park store and you get this one and use the coupon right here on the screen, you'll get a free Blockies Star Edition blind box. If you buy this one and use the same coupon code, you will get a free Star Edition Blockies. If you buy both, you'll get 2 Star Edition blind box Blockies. So that is the special offer for going to the Tommy Park store. They have a little more flexibility because it's their website and not through AliExpress. And so you can get some neat additional things. I love Blockies. They're very cool, and I have quite a few videos on them and more on the way. So there you have them, Dumb and Dumber, just like the movie. Do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the universe? No, I'm not going to do that to you. But yeah, very fun toys. The transformation, as I said, a little bit of a pain. But you know, these guys have a tendency to not just destroy Decepticons, but annoy Decepticons. So, special powers. A fun set, and speaking of fun, I hope you're having fun watching these videos. If you're enjoying my content, by all means, feel free to subscribe, and we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.